Back.
Keep moving.
Steve and I are looking from like that.
You saw a compilation of a bunch of training videos there for a bunch of would-be domestic terrorists in America, in case you were wondering about where this is happening. But there's a small victory, as I pointed out earlier, you guys. Chalk it up for the Justice Department, federal agents there, as they've now convicted 2 of the men that plotted to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer back in 2020. You guys remember that story? Just now, as of yesterday, the convictions came down for 2 of these folks. There was a lot more to their plans, but these are the 2 guys, mugshots there. Barry Croft Jr. on the left and Adam Fox, they were the 2 that were convicted. There was many more, and some actually got off earlier in the year, but these 2 are actually going down. Here's some details. It's one of the most high-profile domestic terrorism cases in recent history. So the prosecutors cast Barry Croft Jr. and Adam Fox as violent anti-government extremists who planned to capture Whitmer at her vacation home in northern Michigan, detonate a bridge to disrupt responding police officers, and in the process, ignite a civil war ahead of the 2020 presidential election, but they were busted. There was more on this. They said they want to set off a second American Civil War and a second American Revolution, something they called the Boogaloo. I feel like we've heard that term before. That's what Assistant US Attorney Niles Kessler said. He's one of the lead prosecutors. The jury in Grand Rapids, Michigan, deliberated for 8 hours over 2 days before convicting these 2 on charges of conspiracy, one related to the kidnapping scheme, another to obtain and use a weapon of mass destruction. Croft was also convicted on another explosive charge, and these 2 face up to life in prison. The decision was a vindication by the Justice Department, as I mentioned before. Some of these folks got off. A different jury in April couldn't reach a unanimous decision on Croft and Fox, but acquitted 2 other alleged co-conspirators. A result that led to the second trial this summer, which then led to this conviction. Now, if you're wondering why these folks keep thinking they can do this type of stuff, or then they have these training videos where they're actually recording themselves do and say all these plans and plots and coming after governors of states because they're mad about COVID measures. Yes, they were mad about COVID measures, trying to save folks' lives. So let's go kill her. Anyways, the reasons why they keep doing this is because their dear leader, Donald Trump, continues to radicalize them. He is the terror leader. Let's watch what he said at Texas CPAC about this.
As another example, the sting that they did involving Gretchen Whitmer was fake. Just like those who instigated January 6th. It was a fake deal, fake. It was a fake deal. Gretchen Whitmer was in less danger than the people sitting in this room right now, it seems to me. And you look to see what happened, and trials are going on all over the place. And I guess a lot of people, Tudor, are being exonerated, aren't they? Huh? They're being exonerated.
Francesca, if that gun locker at the end of that video at the top had a bunch of bumper stickers on it that had Islamic writing and scriptures and stuff, because they had that on that gun locker there. And if you saw Muslim folks jumping out of cars and practicing their shot in their basement, shooting at walls and stuff like that, and then the head of their entire movement saying, I don't know why people are so afraid of them. It's not like they're gonna do anything. In fact, the target of their entire plot to kidnap and murder is in zero danger, despite the fact every time I mention her name, she gets more and more death threats and more plans coming her way. No big deal at all. Would they be okay with that? I think we know that answer.
No, and I apologize if you can hear, hedge trimming day outside of my window. But yeah, look, I think that this was the conviction that these men deserved, and it is also the conviction that people involved in any terrorist plot, and usually happens to be an FBI sting operation involving Muslim men, who get entrapped. Their convictions are always guilty, consistently guilty. Now, I don't love the FBI tactic of infiltrating and planting plots, but I am again unclear if this particular plot was already underway and then the FBI sort of joined it. I do know that a former law enforcement joined this militia, started hearing really violent rhetoric and plots, not specifically about Gretchen Whitmer, but that's when he decided that yes, he would work for the FBI and inform on this group for them. So look, this is what happens when you want to be a so-called badass anti-government militia idiot, sort of cosplaying like you're saving the country when really you're just afraid of a mask. And these are the consequences, and you can't put a hit out or a plan out on someone's life like that without facing those consequences. So FBI involvement or not, I think this is the just result.
We've heard their attorneys come out and talk about how they're going to appeal this process. So this isn't completely over yet. Of course, they're going through the entire process, and it'll give more fodder to people like Donald Trump to say they're the real Americans, they're the patriots who are looking to kill leaders based off of nothing.